What's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be doing this video because it is highly requested. Today I am going to cover everything you need to know about the squat. I'm not going to get too technical, but this video will be a step-by-step guide on how you can best perform your squats in the gym. The first thing I'm going to talk about is warming up and getting to the point of your working sets. So a lot of people, when they go into the gym, they jump straight into their workout, but what I want you to do is really focus on warming up and making sure that your legs are ready to go. So what we're going to do is maybe a 5 to 10 minute walk or a bike ride, just some kind of cardio movement to get the blood flowing around the legs. And then what you could do is move into some light foam rolling, some dynamic stretches, or even some booty banded exercises. It really depends on the individual as to what you're going to do as a warm-up, because some people are, less flexible in their hips, some people need to roll out their glutes, and it really depends on the individual for this. The way I'm going to do today's video is to kind of work from the bottom of the body right up to the top in terms of how you should stand, going right through to where the bar should be positioned on your back. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of trial and error when it comes to the individual. We all have different shaped bodies, and it's important that we adjust our form to suit our individual body types. So let's start with the foot stance. What we're going to do is stand at about a hip width apart. We're going to be angling our feet out at 15 degrees. So here you can see my feet are slightly angled outwards, and I've got my feet hip width apart. From here, we're going to move up to our knees. So a common issue when it comes to squats is that people let their knees cave in, and we don't want this. You can see my knees when they cave in. It's just not a stable way to squat. What we want to be doing is pushing our knees outwards as we lower ourselves down to the bottom of the squat. So you can see that I'm pushing my knees out as I come down. This allows for me to actually squat with some depth and to go either to parallel, depending on flexibility of the individual, or even below parallel with my squat. So what you could do is place a booty band above your knees like I'm doing here, and slowly practice either body weighted or with a lighter weight as you get used to the action of pushing your knees out against that booty band. So it really helps to target your posterior chain, your glutes. Another way that you can do this is practice with either body weight or a kettlebell using a bigger resistance band. A lot of gyms tend to have these bands in them, so you can loop it around a sturdy structure. I'm using the squat rack, and then place the band around the backs of your knees and practice squatting down and driving those knees out against the band. Practice a few like this before you move into your squats so that you can get the action of driving your knees out before actually moving into your, working squats and your sets. Moving up towards kind of the core area, what we're looking for here is to make sure that we are not rounding our back or arching our back. We want to keep our backs nice and straight. So as you come down in your squat, we want to keep the back nice and straight. We're aiming for either parallel or even below parallel with our squat. We don't want to be doing any kind of half or quarter squats here if we're looking for a full range of movement. So depending on your flexibility, your ankle flexibility, your hip mobility, your depth of your squat is going to be different to someone else's, but try and aim for at least a parallel depth squat. With this as well, when you come down to the bottom to your parallel or even below parallel, we want to avoid a butt wink. A butt wink is when you get a slight rounding in the back towards the bottom of your squat. So as we come down, we're keeping that back flat. We want to make sure that the bar is going in a straight path up and down. A way you can check this is by having a friend come and watch you side on as you squat up and down. Or of course you could set up your camera, your phone, and just film yourself side on so that you can watch that the bar is coming up and down, as you can see my squat here. When it comes to placing the bar on your back, there are a few different things that we're going to look at. So one thing I'm going to say is we don't want the bar too high so that it is resting on our neck, causing our necks to drop forward. We also, in terms of neck position, don't want to have our necks arching back up towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do when we place the bar on our back is we need to place it in a comfortable position. There's two different positions you can place this in. There's a low bar and a high bar squat. The lower bar position is going to be targeting more of your glutes, your posterior chain, whereas the higher placement of the bar is going to be focusing on your quads. So it really depends on what you're aiming to focus on when you're doing your squats. I personally like to incorporate a mixture of low bar and high bar squats across the year, depending on what my goals are. So in terms of the high bar squat, you can see the position of it here, and I'll also show you a lower bar position. So it's only slightly lower, and you can see where my hand positions are for both of these squats. I am holding the bar lightly. I am not forcing it down, but I'm just holding the bar in place, keeping my elbows tucked down nice and straight, and then just keeping my neck in a neutral position in line with my spine as I squat in either of these high or low bar positions. Depending on the number of reps you're doing, the number of sets, what kind of weight you're using, in general, for someone that is lifting quite heavy, say you've got a weight belt on, what you should be doing is bracing your core. So when you lift off the rack and you're about to go into your squat, you take a nice deep breath in, brace against the weight belt, or just brace your core nice and tight, lower down, come back up, and then you let the breath out. Same thing, reset again, take a breath, lower the weight down, come back up, let the breath out. So squats are a very technical exercise, but they are such a good one to implement in your training. I make sure that I am utilizing squats across my week, as well as for everyone on the Anjuli Fit squad, obviously injury permitting. Now, lastly, I really wanted to cover warming up and working sets. So if you have in your plan 4 sets of 10 reps of squats, that doesn't mean that you go into the gym and you start on 20 kilos, you know, the bar, and that's your first set, and then you go 30 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos. What I want you to do is go through your warm-up. I want you to go through the booty banded exercises, your mobility work, your foam rolling, dynamic stretches, whatever it is that you need to do to warm up in order for you to perform your best squats. And then I want you to warm up with a weight that you can do a few reps in, just to get a feel for your squats. So for me personally, that might mean that I'm going to do my booty banded exercises. I'm going to warm up with a 20 kilo bar, like you can see here. I'm going through the motions, making sure that my form is on point, and then I'm slowly going to increase the weight. So that to me might look like a 20 kilo bar, a 40 kilo weight, a 60 kilo weight, an 80 kilo weight, and then my working sets might be about 85 to 90 kilos. So all the sets prior to 90 kilos are just warming up. So it might be, you know, 5 reps of 20, 5 reps at 40, 5 reps at 60, moving up. Then I'm going to hit 90 kilos for say 5 reps, 5 sets, and that's my working set. So it's important to make sure that when you are training, you are choosing a weight that challenges you, a weight that you can do with good form, and count that as your working weight. And from there, week on week, you can increase that weight maybe by a pound or 2 depending where you're at. I hope that this video has helped you. It is a highly requested video. If it has really helped you and you'd like to see other videos, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, and as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and smile.